Hello, I'm still Partybug. This is still Evo. And when we last left Ashy Larry, he just defeated Udix Gundyr, sending him to losers. I'm sure he'll never be back, and we'll never see him again.
Welcome to the bonfire.
So we move on to this lady. She is our level up lady, much like the doll in Bloodborne, the Maiden in Black in Demon Souls, Emerald Herald in Dark Souls 2, and, like a fire, just a piece of fire in Dark Souls. One of those is not quite like the others. Either way, we're going to need her to get buff.
Watch the darkness within me take nourishment from these sovereignless souls.
Specifically, the kind of buff we're getting is more dexterity. Because dexterity is the central stat for our fist weapon build. And of course, a little bit of vigor will help. Vigor, of course, will give us more HP. And I'll probably be splitting my stats pretty evenly between vigor, dexterity, and maybe some stamina if I feel I need it. So that taken care of, there's one more thing we can do while we're here. And that is, we can go and see Andre the Giant, who has retired from the WWE to hit his anvil all day.
You require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
So in Third Strike there are two types of flask. There is the health flask and the magic flask. And because we're not a nerd, we don't need magic, so I'm just putting everything in health. And one more small note about this area, Firekeeper Shrine. There is an Estus Shard that is hidden in the Firelink Shrine, but it requires you to be able to jump. And I found out off camera that I cannot jump. Ashy Larry has no ups thanks to the way the controller works. It is impossible for me to do a running leap, meaning I can't do hardcore parkour off a tree and onto a roof and take advantage of some weird geometry. But if I figure it out, maybe I'll show it off later. But this here is the High Wall of Lothric. It's actually a pretty nice looking area, very expansive. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of control over the camera, or I'd show it off a bit more. But much like the tutorial area and every area in Dark Souls, there are a lot of dudes who want to murder you. They just really want it. They're really going for it. Most of them are not very good at it. A short few are, but we will be avoiding them all in favor of getting to the boss. That boss, as a small note, not the same boss that was in the beta version. High Wall of Lothric was the level shown off in the beta for Dark Souls 3. And also, I believe at some game shows. And in those, you were allowed to fight the boss that comes much later in the game, the Boreal Dancer. Which, honestly, is probably a better boss fight if you're going to show a demo than Frosty V. So one thing you might notice if you're familiar with Dark Souls 3 speedruns is there are a few things I haven't done correctly. I haven't picked up certain items because using only fist negates most of my need for things like gold pine resin or weapon buffs. I also don't pause when I'm opening doors and quit the game because that is banned at Evo. Can't pause. And most importantly, I actually miss an Estus Shard. There was one that I passed and I completely forgot about it because I was more focused on staying alive. Because staying alive is something I really need to do for this run. Being embered up is pretty important. And here I go and hit the shortcut, just in case I die, forgetting that if I die, I'm pretty much shit out of luck. But now, ladies and gentlemen, after these short few drops, we're almost at the moment that we've all been waiting for. Ashy Larry versus Vordt Frosty V of the Boreal Valley. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a terrible idea. Trust me, I'm sure Ashy Larry's thinking it too. The truth is, Ashy Larry just does not have the tools to do significant damage to Vordt. Now, he could kill him. He could. Vordt is an easy boss to dodge. His patterns are pretty simple. He hits for a lot of damage, but still, it's theoretically possible that Ashy Larry could take this fight. It would just take, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes? Probably more? It sounds like a tall order. So the question is, what will Ashy Larry do in this coming fight? How will he prepare? What is his strategy gonna be? Oh, wait, he's going for something. Oh, he's calling in the assist. That is gonna be his strategy. We're playing Marvel up in here, unknown to both me and everyone else. Apparently, Ashy Larry picked a second character at character select and is now calling him in for the Vordt assist. Ashy Larry looking very proud of himself with that beautiful face, that chiseled jaw. So ashy. Just covered in it. But now, it's time. And here we go, popping into existence out of nowhere thanks to the processing power of the PS4. We got Vordt of the Boreal Valley, also known as Blood-Starved Beast, returning for the second time, this time with a very big stick. We also got that Howley assist, just going to town on his butt. I mean, look at that. Within a matter of seconds, Vordt's health is cut in half. Now you can see Ashy Larry going in, trying to do some damage on his own. Doing a good 5 to 10 damage with each hit. Those powerful fists just digging in. But really, Howley's doing most of the work here. Now Howley, rolling with that sword and board. Now the board, not very useful, to be honest, in Dark Souls 3. We could talk a bit more about that later. But the longsword is really what's doing the work here. Longsword carries. I rolled sword and board my first playthrough. Got me through the whole game. Now Howley in the corner. Oh, gets hit by the big overhead. Ashy Larry going in, trying to save him. Ashy Larry getting blown up. Oh, Howley coming back in with the overhead jump. Gets Vordt. Goes down. Victory lap. That is what you love to see. The second match of Dark Souls Third Strike is a victory for Ashy Larry. And that done, we get our third bonfire. Not bad. And the last thing to do is take a small victory lap, because there is one thing I did forget. Up these stairs, and towards that giant cathedral, there is a lady we need to visit. Provided we don't get murdered by these knights. This is Emma.
The wait has been long, unkindled one. Allow me to speak frankly. You will not find the Lords of Cinder here. They have to their churning homes, converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed.
And Emma gives us the small Lothric banner, which we will need to progress. If you talk to her a bit more, she will also give you the item you need to join the Blue Covenant, if you're a narc. But we're not, so we won't. And if you are, we'll find you. Just saying. So now, another quick lap, back to the bonfire. And that's going to do it for this match of Evolution 2017 Dark Souls 3rd Strike. Next up, we're going to get an actual weapon and do some actual punching. I'll see you then.